Starting again. Okay, so more awesome things you can do with animations. If we go into this idle animation, which is right here, and we look at it in the inspector, we know we understand we can decorate our animations with events. Oh, let's just to reinforce it. Let's make if we wanted to make the sound manager play a sound when the footstep occurred, how can we do that? If we wanted to play a sound when every footstep was occurring, what would we have to do with our case study? Yeah, that is spin, stop, play. Well, we only have impact sound effects, so maybe we can at least play an impact sound. Maybe we'll hear something. So it's lining up with everything again. It's probably not the best footstep sound. Truth be told, with this is called Foley, when you have environmental sound effects. It sounds really unnatural when you play a single clip over and over again. You want to have between 3 to 5 variations of each type of impact, and you want to randomly pick between them to mix it up. So yeah.
Also seem like randomizing the game.
You can do that too. That's a good point. Not the gain, but the pitch. I'm like with a small. If I could keep up with it, you would hear. Yeah, that's another way you can do it. It'll slow it down a little bit. I've done that in Unity for adding pressure when you're running out of time. Increase the 10% to the music. It'll speed up a little bit, like Tetris or like Mario when you're getting close to the end, and it's often very effective. But that's a public property on the sound source, which is instantiated. Right. I mean, gain might work. There's a lot of filters and other things you can do to post-process your sound to make even more interesting things happen. All right, but that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was another way to decorate your animation. So if we go back to the idle, we looked at events. We played a sound. You could call any function from an animation, right? It's pretty clear that you can do that. Okay. Other things you can do from an animation is you can add more animation. So we remember that an animation is just a series of rotations that get applied to every transform in a hierarchy, and you've got this giant hierarchy unity of bones, beneath bones, beneath bones, and some of them, this might be arm 1, this might be arm 2, leg might go up there, another thing might go up there. But you can add more animation to that if you need to. Sometimes you need to choreograph other things with movement, not just events. And you do that with a curve. So if I click under curves and I click the plus sign, I get the curve editor. Let's call this, I don't know, extra move data. Okay, and if I double click here, you get the curve inspector. Right now it's a straight line from 0 to 0, so if you try to access this curve, it doesn't do much. This is read-only. When the game is running, you can't push information into a curve unless you're in the editor. And most people don't ship their game just in the editor, so don't try to write to the curve. But you can do that in the designer. So if you double-click, you can add a control point, and you can adjust the curvature of this function. You can also click on a control point and translate it up. Right? You can move these things around. You can also, right click on it, edit key. And then you can type in at t equals 0, I want the value to be 1.0. And that should have taken. It didn't take. Edit key. At t equals 0, value is 1. There it is. Right? So my curve is super steep right now. It starts at 1. And then it goes down like that. I'm going to double click. Add some more points to it. I don't know. Whatever I want. Right? Just some other function. And the last thing I want, I'm going to right click on this key. And I'm going to say edit key. At time at 1, I want the value to be 1. So my curve goes and does some stuff, but it always starts at 1 and ends at 1. So that when my animation loops, my extra curve should kind of loop, right? Because it starts and ends at the same point. Okay, great. So I added this extra curve to this animation, and you can see it in the inspector there. It's called extra move data. So one interesting thing you can do with curves is you can pull that information out while an animation is playing and do something with it. And the way you do that is through parameters. So I'm going to add another parameter, float. I'm going to say extra move data. Has to have exactly, the parameter has to have exactly the same name as the curve. If it doesn't have exactly the same name, it won't work. But because that's there, now we can do something cool. We can go to our hero script here, and we can do something like this. I don't know, put it here. Public float extra curve. And every frame in our update loop, we're going to just do something like this. Well, I'll do it right here. Extra curve is equal to animator.getFloat. What's the name of our curve? Extra loop data, something like that. Pardon? Move? Was it curve? I forget. Let's try that. Let's look at it. Yeah, move. Sweet. So because that's public, and we should be able to pull it out of the curve and see it on our character. Turn the sound down for a second. Where's Malcolm? Here's Malcolm. So extra curve is not updating. Malcolm is playing that. Oh, but we didn't put it on the walk animation. What animation did we put it on? The idle, right? So let's go back to base layer. Let's set that as the default state. Press play. Now if we look at Malcolm, so that float that we assigned to the curve name is now sampling that curve. And we would see if we were to look at those numbers in the curve editor, that corresponds to those heights that we put in there. So why would you want to add extra information to an animation? It's up to you, right? Maybe you've got some other game object that you want to choreograph or key. Maybe you want to add some other thing that's moving up and down. It could be an obstacle. It could be the height of your jump. It could be some damage value for your attack, depending how far you are into it. If you're doing a combat system, it's really up to your creativity. But it's a way of you adding more information to an animation. Okay?